October 14th, 12:14 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 4. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. We are now here in the second part of the trial, and we, at the end of the last video, we went to the courtroom next door, where Detective Luke Atme was being tried as the thief masked DeMasque, and now we're going to bring him here in our trial to testify, because we believe he is the real killer of Kane Bullard. So, let's see what happens here. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive? Inside your heart. Nicky boy! Sorry, I felt a sneeze coming on, but it went away. Oh, Miss DeLite. Is it true that a detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. October 14th, 12:21 p.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 6. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atme, please take the stand. Well, how do you do, sir lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. No one would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of DeMasque. I'm sorry, I'm afraid even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I've been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as masked DeMasque. Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are in fact masked DeMasque? Of course. Well then, Luke Atme, let us begin with a simple question. On October 12th, at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Alright, Mr. Atme. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as masked DeMasque, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured masked DeMasque was the same time as the murder. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Master DeMasque cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Adney, we still have to do a cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Okay, what do you want, Carmino? I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. I love it when Maya makes this face. It's so funny. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Let's see here. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Rolly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was a perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You're truly all evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Adney was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Rolly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on this photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Rolly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Rolly Taylor's staff that printed down the picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. It looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. So, this alibi is false? It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Press this. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Is that correct? Indeed it is. That's it. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Rolly Taylor provided that camera. There was no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard, unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture, well, that supposedly captures it. It's got to be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? You bet there is. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night, before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well, let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? There would be all this, paint splotches. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Ah, blood. Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches, the judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. For some reason, I love when Phoenix sweats like this. The expression he makes. Oh. The problem with this photograph is not in the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint and stains? There would be this Amy Faye statue. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there.
Objection!
But when I was there the day after the theft, that statue, the old bag, was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally? Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. Ha! In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why do they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one who moved this golden statue on the night of the crime? That would be Luke Gammy himself. The one who moved this statue is none other than Luke Atme. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving this golden statue, here is where our battle really begins. Now, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretended to be masked to mask, to create an alibi by showing you were at Lobby Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would have been exposed like cheap film in a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? I believe is the timestamp. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went into KB security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at the lowly tailor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was the statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Look at me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the... Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ah. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Amy must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. A long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory? Huh? I don't understand that at all. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke at me had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Wah! Order! Mr. Atme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data from the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime.
Objection!
It's true that the camera had been set up by the lowly tailor staff. However, the program you used to manage the data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Order! Mr. Goodall, what is the meaning of this? Goodall, I wonder about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. My 11th cup. I promise to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good to the last drop. However, the defective admit has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and then the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied, which is that it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way. Don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. DeMasque. Yes? And there's no funny business in your actions as mask to mask. There should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. The sacred urn heist. I first received the request from the lowly tailor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box and safari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my car 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zavari. Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. The Sacred Urn Heist. Wait, never mind that. Hang on. Interesting.
Objection!
Mr. Remy, if you really are masked to mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card the Mask to Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true, but so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Mask to Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to a human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. That's not very nice. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Amy had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Excuse me a moment. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? Ha! It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask to Mask. And now, we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way. Don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Luke Amy was the one who killed Kane Bullard? Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Mind you my merry murderous motive manifest? Nick, he's getting a second wind. Have you prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron DeLite, as you say? You must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron DeLite. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, that boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Oldtimer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Motive for murder. I look at me, and no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate DeMasque and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter intended to Ron DeLite. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. DeLite for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite inexcusable. The defendant truly believes he is DeMasque. That is why Mr. DeLite saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwritten writing test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Blackmail letter updated in the court record. Found in Ron DeLite's room. Written by Bullard. Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Okay. Interesting. Then it's a red diamond here. And Ron DeLite never had a red diamond that I know of.
Objection!
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron DeLite, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You don't want to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed, kind of man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. I think it's this one, actually. The precious gem, the Tear of Emanon, priceless. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much of a discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that DeMasque stole at all.
Objection!
And the point is, Mr. Trite, so you're all trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you were trying to say, right, Trite? That's what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, that's what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. You know, when they want us to present a person, they really should pull the profiles automatically. It was Luke at me. Naturally, it was you, Detective at me. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You've been personally involved in every single DeMasque case. In the last case, you recovered what was stolen, and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped around conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. And that is the diamond red referred to in the letter, which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Order in the court. What I said. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. I don't know the way he said that. Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on. Sit up to him. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world, yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmey's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? Atmey killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atmey wanted to so desperately keep secret was his identity as a blackmailer. Luke Atmey was a blackmailer.
Objection!
Hey now, is that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atmey. Are you saying that Atmey was blackmailing someone else on top of that? Ugh, you have to admit, that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmey. But Ron DeLite was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emron heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron DeLite was actually DeMasque. That is what we were claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. DeLite steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atmey. Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What is... When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You say that I, Luke Atmey, was blackmailing Ron DeLite? In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to DeMasque. Well, yes. Ron DeLite started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke and me know that Ron DeLite was masked DeMasque? I think after the clipping itself. It shows the detective as well as Ron. We've already established this is Ron himself here, so yeah, I think this is it.
Take that!
I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron DeLite in his guard uniform. It seems that DeMasque didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured out, Mr. Abby. That's when you learned that under his mask, mask. Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slinging blackmailer. What a fraud. Trying to be a part of himself. I was an ace detective. Why you? How dare you expose me like that? Why I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective, and also masked DeMasque. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. What are you? How dare you even? I'm not going to see all that. It goes by way too fast. It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Amy. Bailiff, please prepare our cell for Mr. Amy.
Objection!
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm not prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more than your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trent. What do you... As truly, you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke at me was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't a lowly tailor the night of the murder. That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull. But there's still one thing you've yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, and I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No, no way. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Amy was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer. That night, look at me, Mr. Academy Security and the defense. Unfortunately, we cannot prove it right now. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But if you hear more of Detective Amy's testimony...
Objection!
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Luke Amy is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as masked DeMasque. No. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective, as well as masked DeMasque. My verdict will verify that. Justice Ron DeLite will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order in the court. That's enough of deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and... But then, it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy? How does she not know what that is? Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Amy will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as DeMasque, which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned. No way. The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Amy's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as the Kane Bullard's murderer. No, there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke at me, will go free. You have cause to examine every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Amy.
Objection!
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you... Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice. No way. Oh, long time no see, Phoenix. Mia! This is the true power of the Korean channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me. But right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony is not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Right now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective, as well as DeMasque. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron DeLite will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detective-ness. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well, then we shall prove the importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Godot? Oh, nothing. Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Godot, what are you... Very well then, Mr. Look at me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. The last testimony. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lonely Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron DeLite. And thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints and we sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. DeLite was wearing his DeMasque outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavari. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's early remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of its points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how do you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Luke Ammy's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a sec. Just one chance? Ha! It seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Cup number 17. The last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find out the contradictory remark, and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Okay, give me a second, I need to, pause the recording real quick. Okay, now here, we have to press the 9th statement. This one.
Hold it!
Mr. Admy, about this last remark.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you, Trite? This isn't the time to be pressing your minutes on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Goodell. What? Mr. Admy, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Admy? I forgot to mention before, even pressing the wrong statement would be an automatic game over, so which is why I had to do only the 9th statement before. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. DeLite was wearing his DeMasque outfit. Is that correct? Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you are a fool. I'm sorry. Whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron DeLite was dressed as DeMasque when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my 6th cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention up until now. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There was no way that you should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom, being tried as DeMasque. So then, enlighten us. Just how do you know about that piece of information? Well...
Objection!
Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
Objection!
And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. DeLite was wearing his DeMasque outfit. It was one and only one way. For Detective Admin to have found that out. Only one? One way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. DeLite's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shuttle there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection!
Mr. DeLite never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atney.
Objection!
It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. DeLite saw the real killer. Correct. Correct? Now, if you don't turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron DeLite. Impossible. Detective Amy, you saw DeMasque at the murder scene that night. You saw him when he killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron DeLite. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Here we go. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the Treasure Clown. That's the same name you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Oh, hee hee. What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atney, who was in turn blackmailing Ron DeLite. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atney tried to frame Ron DeLite. He then claimed to be guilty as Master DeMasque in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me. I came up perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict? I know. You never committed any murder. That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Master DeMasque. Huh? So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy? Now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then, Master DeMasque is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now? Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Yay! Confetti! Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master DeMasque after all. October 14th, 3:35 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Crane Challenge at school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Mia. Ah, Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. DeLite. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all this happened. Come on, just be happy already. Maya, you've been cleared up of the murder charges and got off as DeMasque to boot. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master DeMasque. I did it all for one reason, for her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all those money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So, that's why I became Master DeMasque? Yes, but it's all over now. Hope and Cole can never be put back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? You'll be fine, and I can prove it. I can? I kinda wish you would check out with me first. Mr. DeLite, even if a ball is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. I think they want us to present the sacred urn. No, I wonder what would happen if we present the wrong item at this point. I'm not gonna find out. The sacred urn? Dissy was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Mr. DeLite. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that, but, I suppose you... Excuse me. I suppose that you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. Well, it was fired, but whatever. I never imagined that you were really Master DeMasque either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My money would include his crimes before he committed them, like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spent with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy. Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. feel my face going red. Mr. Nick! Missing Maya! Congratulations! Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick! How could you? Within the man's wife? In front of missing Maya? No, you've got it wrong. I'll never forgive you. Never, ever. He's strong for a 9-year-old. So just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said, a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here was a perfect example of one that was put back together, even better than before. The end. Well, that was adventurous. Yes, save it. I'm gonna save it here, I guess. And next time, we will start with episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout. So until then, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, go ahead and hit that like button. And until next time, take care, and have a great rest of your day.